there were some definite positives, and there were some things you got to clean up. I think, like I said, I think that's going to be it. I think we're going to have to keep looking at each game, and I like the approach, and I like the way they worked in the game, and were able to adjust things, and that was huge. That was probably the thing I was most excited about. Is you got a lot thrown at us, and their ability to adjust as the game went on was big. And then we got to clean some things up fundamentally, and that'll be the focus this week.
What's the biggest difference you think between this year's line and last year's?
I think just every line's different, and really every team's different. And so I can't tell you anything right now. It's too early, they're still defining kind of who they are, and that's what's exciting about the new year. So we'll see. I don't know yet.
Do you think Bo Benchel's a little bit more comfortable at right guard than he was at right tackle last year?
I do. I think he's a little bit more natural at guard than he is at tackle, and I think that's what probably made the move easy. He's jumped out there and played some in practices and in fall camp, and he can do that for us. But I think he's more comfortable there.
How have you seen he and Maxwell start to get that mesh and that feel for each other, and how the person next to them is going to block?
I think just taking reps, communication, talking at the line of scrimmage. I think it's huge. I think knowing what the guy next to you is going to do better than he knows what he's going to do is a pretty good feeling. So they're getting there, and they're competitive. They want to, Max wants to try to play as good or better than Bo, and Bo wants to play better than Max. And, so I think there's a healthiness to their relationship. It's good.
I know Deason was playing through a little bit of an injury on Saturday, but how do you assess how he played?
I don't know. He wasn't able to go today. I don't know if we'll have him or we won't. It's too early in the week right now.
Against Akron, though, how do you feel like he?
I thought he did good. I thought he did some good things. I thought he battled through. For a young guy, when you got to make adjustments on the sideline, and you worry, you just do. And he went with the punches, and he kept playing hard and played physical, and that was the biggest thing for him. I think every rep he gets early in the season is huge for him. So I thought he did a good job.
He had some explosive plays on Saturday. Those were kind of missing from the offense last year. Do you think it can be an explosive offense? Do you think that?
I think you have the potential to be that. We shall see. It was good to have those plays in the game. It was huge. But I don't quite know yet. I know they want to do those things that help you to be successful like that and create big plays, but they're close, but I can't say yet.
I guess wondering just how much easier does it make it for an offense to be able to have those? I mean, we've seen that in the past here with Melvin and Monty and James being able to make those big plays, and how much easier it makes it on offense not having to put together those 10, 12 plays.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's huge, and that's the thing you kind of talk to the guys about is you might have 10 plays where you could gain 5 yards on each play. And then you might have 2 of those plays that could go for 50 if you are tied in tight to the landmark and every guy is covered up and the details reflect it in all 10 plays because you don't know which 2 of those will be, and I think that's just the consistency of play that creates big plays.
Guys like Dieter and Bo Benchel, they kind of have, lighter dispositions, a little bit quieter guys, even at least when they talk to us. But on the field, do you kind of see them switch into that aggressive, almost killer mentality of blocking the guy in front of them until he can't block him any longer?
I think they got a great demeanor of what it means to be an O-lineman here. I think that foundation, that understanding is growing more and more each day. And I think they understand that responsibility and it's important to them. And I think that's what I see growing, and that's what I see as an approach to handling their job on the field. And, it's getting there.
I think I understand what you're trying to say with their disposition, but what is their disposition? What kind of disposition do you want in an offensive lineman here at Wisconsin?
Well, I think the offensive line is based on probably the foundation of the program. I think you got to be smart first. I think toughness and a physical nature to your play. I think being consistent and dependable to be on your fit, your landmark, your detail. I think it's an unselfishness that an O-lineman can display play after play. I think that type of leadership and effort can sustain a program. You know, you're not getting the ball. You don't have to worry about how many catches. But that's the guys. I mean, you want to put on film. You want to be relentless, and you want to show toughness every play, and you want to be able to watch yourself on film and say, "Yep, that demonstrates what we talk about in that meeting room all the time."
Paul told us this summer that the overall strength of the offensive line was still a little bit lacking from where it needed to be. And where do you think that stands right now? Do you think that's improved? Do you think it's close to where it needs to be, or is it still a long way to go?
I think the guys in the weight room have done a tremendous job of helping these guys. And I think that a lot of these guys are sophomores. And sophomores usually aren't as strong as juniors and usually aren't as strong as seniors. So I think they're getting closer and closer, all right? But I still think they got some room to continue to grow. And we talked about it in the meeting, like this week is an important week from a weight room standpoint. Next week, the week after that, like the gains that you make are ongoing, like now. And so we're getting closer. You know, certain guys are just a little bit different. You know, like it's a different group. Like John Dietzon's really strong, but being able to cut it loose and put that strength to action on the field, he's not quite there to just cut it loose all the time. You know, where another guy might be cutting it loose and playing really strong and physical on the field, but maybe his weight room numbers don't reflect it just yet. So they're getting closer as a whole, but I think all those things tie together when you see someone playing consistently physical, strong, putting that type of explosiveness on the film. But they're getting there.
How much can you make up for strength with proper technique? I mean, obviously, when a guy sinks lower, he can use that leverage a little better to make up for some of that. But
yeah,
how much can you really make up for? I mean, how much does pure strength?
I think different bodies are completely different. I think there are certain guys that just play with a natural explosiveness, and it may not matter how much they do on a squat. And there are certain guys that squat, being as high as it is the thing that gives them a chance to play explosive. So I think every body, every person's different, but absolutely technique plays a huge part. If you have the biggest, strongest guy that's stiff as a board and can't generate power, you know, on the field. So
Is there a particular area you feel like the offensive line needs to improve in more than others? I guess we just talked about strength. Is there anything else?
no, I mean, there's a lot of things on the field that we got to improve on. I think just fundamental technique. It's easy when you're walking through something or you're doing a drill, but to do it in the heat of the moment when you're communicating at the line of scrimmage and it's right to the last second and boom, you got to execute. We're not consistent with that yet. You know, just the simple things as consistency with pad level, consistency with inside hand. So we just talk about simple things right now, and it's nice because I think guys are at the point where they're confident in what they're doing and they can focus in on one thing here, one thing there, and make those changes in a given week.
Defensively, what jumps out about Georgia State to you when you look at them on film? I mean, coach, obviously it's a new program,
yeah,
defensively, but coach seemed to think that
they're very multiple. Very multiple. I mean, they will pretty much show you everything you can imagine, and it's a tough prep, you know, especially for a young group. So I'm going to have to get them ready. And then the second thing that you see is a lot of experience. You know, you see, I think all three linebackers are returning. I think three of the front four, three of the back, three guys in the back end. So a lot of returning starters. They've had experience. They've played in big games, and then probably their ability to be multiple in fronts and coverages.